Sawadee Cup. Cup. April the 16th, Friday. Yay. Friday. Yeah. It's like that. April 16th, examine most carefully the things you desire most. Wow. Yeah, you know where I'm going with that. Yeah. Far too many people, I find, far too many people spend more time planning their weekends than their lives. Wow. Okay. So, we interrupt this positive action plan to tell you I just got off the phone with my boy Jeffrey, who I went down to the car show at Bangkok with. And I called him this morning because while I was making my gruel, my morning oatmeal and papaya, I was like, man, I really miss traveling. Like, I really like traveling. And part of that is because the government canceled the New Year's celebration I talked about on an earlier video, Songkran it's called. You know, Thais splash water on each other and get silly and have fun and drink and stuff. And it's a party. It's a week-long party. Well, they canceled the party. But everything closed down because all the Thais went home to their villages and hung out and partied. It was like, kind of like Thanksgiving weekend when a lot of Americans travel to see family and have Thanksgiving dinner, supper, whatever you call it, depending on where you're from. And so it's the same with Songkran, except it's a week. So as I mentioned earlier, I wasn't able to get a new license plate frame for the Filano. I wasn't able to get the bikes detailed. You know, Jeffrey told me there's no point in putting them up for sale. Nobody's going to be buying right now. I mean, the country's like shut down. But the fun part of Songkran that expats can and tourists could participate in, the water battles, the gun battles and stuff like that. Like I could have gone to Big C, which is Walmart, and bought a super soaker, you know, and gone out and had some fun over by the moat. The moat in Chiang Mai is where all the Songkran stuff happens. And go get splashed with water and splash people with water and just have fun, just be silly, you know. That's not happening. That got canceled, right, by the government due to the third outbreak of COVID, whatever. Very convenient the way it came out just before Songkran, which once again they're trying to reduce motorcycle deaths so they can take credit for it, not because they care about the people, because they didn't do anything 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years, whatever. So I have cabin fever. Like I came to Thailand to retire, and this was the most boring week I've had since I've been here. You know, I got the TV, the big screen TV, smaller than the one I had in America. That one's 50 inches, not big at all. We had the 50-incher. We put in Airbnbs, and I had in my office, and that's nothing. I had a 75-inch TV in my house in the living room. Still do. I guess they're gonna. Now that my house is under contract, we're gonna sell it. But anyway, I got that dialed in to where I got a bunch of free streaming services where I can watch just about any movie ever made, going from Gone with the Wind up to, you know, whatever Avengers Endgame, you know, and 2021 releases that I'd never heard of. I watched a couple of those, 3 or 4 yesterday. And that's cool and that's fun. And like I said, I used to do that to wind down at the end of the day in America. But a week of that, like I'm ready to do something. I came here to retire, and after a week of retirement, forced retirement, you know, with no place to go or nothing to do, like I want to work. I want to work. That hasn't happened since I was 17. Where I've like wanted to work. I worked because I had to work. Now I can't wait until this shit's over. Hopefully today's the last day. We'll see. Everything is so liquid in Thailand. You don't really know, and we'll see tomorrow. It might be open, and I can do all those things I need to do. I want to get stuff accomplished. I'm a driven person, and this week has driven me crazy because I haven't been able to accomplish anything. I'm going nuts. I get that that's crazy to you, because I would have been back in the States. I would have been like, oh man, a week just to not worry about anything or do anything. That's awesome. It's not awesome. If you got any kind of drive inside you, this sucks. You want a mixture. You want a mixture of both, and this has been nothing but sit here and watch TV. So, getting back to examining our most carefully the things we desire the most. Oh, well, of course I forgot this story. So anyway, as I'm making my gruel, I was thinking how cool that trip to Bangkok was, because I'm in the little, not quarantine, because I can go out anytime I want. There's just no place to go. So with that cabin fever reaching a peak after a week, I called Jeffrey this morning and said, man, I'm ready for another road trip. Let's go. Let's start planning the next one. So sometime in June, we're going to take like 7 to 10 days, and I'm finally going to get to see the islands, which is one of the things I chose Thailand for, is because it has so many beautiful islands. When I was doing my research, I found that the movie The Beach with Leo DiCaprio was filmed here in Thailand. So, I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's paradise. There's so many beautiful, beautiful islands and beaches here. I gotta see some of them. That was the original plan. Once again, since I started flying solo, imagine that, and and came to Chiang Mai March 1st. That started. I'm starting to live the way I had envisioned living here. So, cool beans. Far too many people spend more time planning their weekends than their lives. That's what kicked off the thing about traveling in June. So I will be going in June, and I will film it. Then they suddenly realized that life has passed them by, and they weren't even aware it was happening. Wow. When you intently study what you most desire in life, you begin to focus your mind and concentrate your energy upon that which you wish to achieve. So Jeffrey and I talked, and we agreed that we're going to go in June sometime. So that's a goal, right? We're talking about goals this month. Now that it's out there, our two minds are going to make it work. We're going to travel in June. We're going to make it happen, unless something crazy happens and fourth lockdown and the world's locked down and we can't travel on the friggin' roads anymore. We're going. Save another global pandemic like last year, where everything was locked down and everybody was quarantined, for 14 or 21 days, and it turned into a year. We're going. We're going to make that happen. The cycle seems to be COVID outbreak, clamp, 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 open. They let you breathe a little bit, clamp down again. So we're waiting for the opening after this third lockdown to make our run down to the border. See Malaysia. I want to see Malaysia. That's on my bucket list since I got here. I wanted to see Malaysia. I want to see Myanmar. I want to see Vietnam. I want to see Laos. I want to see Cambodia. Travel all over the southeast. So hopefully the passport situation will be good, where we can cross the border to Malaysia on that trip in June. We'll see. We'll see. Concentrate your energy on what you wish to achieve. That's what we're doing. One of the great advantages of having a definite goal for your life is that it helps you prioritize your activities. Right. Everything that happens, I look to it towards how is that going to help me make my road trip in June. Right. Because now I have a goal. So it is going to prioritize things that happen to me between now and then. Decisions I make between now and then. Right. When your major purpose is clear in your mind, it is unnecessary to analyze each individual situation. You know automatically whether your actions will move you towards your goal or away from it. This is big, guys. He's talking about that laser focus I referred to the other day. This is what I was talking about, laser focus. Everything that comes across your brain waves is now viewed through the looking glass of, if I do this, will it help me achieve my goal, right? Which for me is still getting my business up and running. But before June, I certainly hope to have gotten that on the rinse repeat cycle. I think I should have a system by June, to the point where I might be able to, if everything goes right what I'm planning now, I'll be able to sell bikes or cars while I'm on the road with my phone. I'll be able to use my phone to sell cars like I used to use my phone to sell houses and get houses rehabbed. So we'll see. That's what I'm setting up. I don't know if I'll have it in place by June or not. Well, I hope to. We'll see. Major Purpose Clear automatically actions move you toward your goal. You can then use all of your resources, time, money, and energy to best advantage. It maximizes your time, energy, and money because it's focused on the goal. In other words, I've read this before too, and I believe it. If you save money just because your parents told you to, or you read in a book, or some goofy fat dude in Thailand tells you save money, you're not going to save money. The temptation of getting a new, bigger TV or something like that will be too great. But if you save money towards your goal, towards a specific goal that you really want and really need in your life, then saving money is easy. When you work at something you love, it's not work. When you save for something you really want, it's not painful or hard. It comes pretty naturally. So, good stuff today from Napoleon. I gave you an update on what's going on with me. June. Yeah, it's April. It's April 16th, and I'm already talking about June because that's my next fun goal, and that's a good little quick thing. You know, my goal, my life goal, is to establish the car flipping business, and then immediately after or at the same time, I'm not afraid to work, obviously, going stir crazy this past week, the condo flipping business. I still have that offer in. I haven't forgotten about that gutted condo. I bumped my offer up to $250. So that is still on the radar. I'm still working that deal. I'm still looking for more deals. So flipping condos, flipping cars, I have to get that rolling. Not just, if I buy the Ranger and I sell the Ranger, that's great. I made a transaction. If I buy the Ranger, sell the Ranger, use the money from the Ranger to buy either another 300 to 400,000 baht truck I helped to sell for 5 plus, or 2 cars in the 150 range I hope to sell for 253. Either way, whichever I decide to do, I'm looking at that now. People who have money still have money. There's people who haven't been affected by COVID at all. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, right? And even way below them, like Thai business owners, right? Wealthy Thai business owners still have money. Their income was reduced, but they weren't living on their income. They were living on, generational money or whatever, So, or they have some businesses that weren't affected by, like a 7-Eleven, or KFC. People are still eating out. People are still spending money. Less money, and there's no tourist money, but there's still money being spent. So I'm deciding, I'm going to see which sells first, the truck or the cheap bike, the Grand Filano I bought for $25,000. What sells first? Common sense tells me the Grand Filano will sell first because more people have 30,000, 35,000 baht. But the people who are in the market for a 30,000 baht bike don't have money right now because of COVID, because of a year of the lockdown. So my concern is that Grand Filano is going to sit for a while, and the truck will go fast because that's a 500,000 baht vehicle. It's a 700,000 baht vehicle. I'm going to sell it for 550, somewhere around there. Sell it quick, flip them, keep them going, and that, I think, is actually going to sell faster, even though it's more money. And that's counterintuitive. Like I told you about, I never flipped $750,000 houses because they take too long to sell. The thing is, the people who have a $500,000 for a shiny new truck that's 3 years old with low mileage, they still got money. They're not hurting from COVID like your average person is. So normally I would think I'm better off buying 10 $1,000 bikes than one $10,000 truck, but with COVID, I might be better off with the $10,000 truck. So when I sell that truck, if that's the case, if it's sold quickly, I'll buy an Isuzu D-Max or a Toyota Hilux or another Ford Ranger, whatever's at auction in good shape with low mileage for the same $10,000 and sell it for 15 and do it again and again and again. That's where I talked about being down south in June and just, all I have to do is go to the auction, and my assistants will take it from there. And if Jeffrey and I get accomplished one of our little milestones or goals, which is getting a storage place this month, we're going to put a person there to watch over it and deal with people. That person will be able to sell the truck for me and take the money, put it in the bank, and like I said, the business will be on autopilot, which is my goal from day one. As I'm designing the business, I'm designing it so I can be out of it, and really all I need to do is go to the auction, twice a month and buy some bikes and cars. So that's it. That's what we're talking about today, and good stuff again from my boy Napoleon. He never lets me down, talking about laser focus, which is absolutely necessary.